ChokeOut!
Thanks, guys.
You too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't like the way you fought. Too bad. The kid came out with a game plan and he fought. I actually think in that last round he could have finished it. I think he laid back and played it safe, didn't want to get in there and get dangerous in exchange. You know what I mean? People don't like the way that he fought. Oh well.
People say, you know, you've got to be disappointed you don't get to put the big money fight together that you wanted to put together.
Not at all. George St. Pierre and Carlos Condit will be a big fight. I guarantee it.
How about Roy Nelson tonight? I know he'd been on thin ice before. This wasn't. It's weird. It was a gutsy performance, but it wasn't necessarily a great performance. Where do you stand with Roy? What do you think? How do you evaluate him as a character?
Yeah, I've been telling Roy forever that, you know, if Roy took himself serious and, you know, for instance, I mean, Roy had a couple of moments there. He rocked Werdum once with a couple of shots, you know, and if he was in good enough shape to keep that kind of a pace, he would win more fights, you know. I told him, you can't, I mean, why, you know, like, the shtick was funny for a while, but going in at 265 with a frame that doesn't carry 265 makes no sense when you're a professional fighter or a professional athlete of any kind. He got his weight down, you know. He's tough though, man. He's so tough. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever seen.
So even with the laws, you think he's safe right now?
We'll see what happens. I mean, the guy brings it. He comes to fight, you know. You wonder what he could do if he really trained and got into it.
Do you think that could take away from his power, though, if he got smaller?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you either have it or you don't. You know, you got these guys that have knockout power and guys that don't. You know, I don't know what difference your weight would be. You know, it's one thing if you we're talking about a guy's weight being explosive and athletic as to being 265 pounds.
Did you think Nick was serious when he said he was retiring?
You never know with Nick Diaz, you know? You never know. I think he's just upset right now, and I think he's emotional, but who knows? I'll tell you what, the kid's made a lot of money. I mean, if he didn't want to do it anymore, maybe he could retire. Why? He's in his prime. Fight a few more years, and he'll have enough money to really do it. Take back for the rest of your life.
When you hear Josh Koscheck say that he's no longer with AKA, that was, you know, there were some matchups there that you wanted to put together for a long time.
That's what I whispered to him. I said, now I'm doing a John Finch fight. That's what I said to him.
What was his reaction?
He said, good luck with that.
Do you think he still wouldn't be open to it right now? Or does the evil genius inside of you just want to put that together, regardless of whether it makes sense?
That's what Lorenzo said.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what Lorenzo said too. I don't know. I was just fucking with him. You know, if the fight made sense, because there was a time when those two were both going like this, and, you know, if the fight made sense though, yeah, I'd try to make it. I wouldn't do it just to do it.
Yeah, you would.
No.
Now, out of the AKA crew, it was Koscheck and Fitch. What's going on with Mike Swick at this point? Have you guys been in contact with him?
Yeah, I haven't. I know Joe Silva has. Swick hurts himself when he gets out of bed in the morning every day, you know? I love Swick. He's one of my favorite guys, but, you know, he's Mr. Glass.
What did you think of Josh's performance?
Josh? Yeah. Josh looked flat tonight, man. It looked like I expected Josh to have the faster hands, you know, let him go. He didn't really let his hands go tonight. He looked flat.
Penn people are starting to look at him. He's kind of flying under the radar, I think.
Not in Brazil, he's not.
No, definitely not. What did you think about his performance? I know you don't like the matchmaking. Obviously, you've already got a title fight set up in that division. Right. But what do you think about that guy?
Yeah, I think he's, you know, first of all, he's got an incredible streak going. He's huge. He's the buzz right now in Brazil. Everybody's buzzing about that guy. And we'll see what happens.
I know I'm sorry. I know you mentioned it a little bit during the press conference, but did you talk to George St. Pierre after the fight? And if you do, what do you think that conversation's going to be?
Yeah, I didn't. I know he wanted Diaz, and he really wanted that Diaz fight bad, but it's not going to be Diaz. So he better get angry with Carlos Condit, or focused on Carlos Condit, or whatever it is he needs to do.
Now, knee injuries they're hit or miss. That sometimes somebody comes back 100%.
Knees?
Yeah, and often they're never the same. Is there any worry in your mind that maybe St. Pierre isn't the same champion that he is?
I don't know. These knee surgeries these days aren't what they used to be. He went to the absolute best doctor there is. He's getting the best physical therapy that you can get, and he's a hard worker. So some of these knee surgeries that they do now are just as good as, Jerry Rice, 10 years ago, came back off after a knee surgery and was still awesome. I think it depends on the individual, but these new knee surgeries are way different than they used to be.
And before this event, you guys released a video of interviews with football players to get their picks on this fight. Is that something that we can expect in the future from the relationship with Fox?
The Fox didn't have anything to do with that.
Really?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that had nothing to do with Fox.
So how'd you guys set that up then?
We just went in and we got it done. We interviewed the guys and what they thought about the fight. We were going to get Brady too, but Brady was they had him on lockdown. Couldn't get near Brady.
Sean Shelby couldn't pull some strings on us?
Dude, you couldn't get near Brady. Nobody could get near Brady.
I don't want anybody to mess with him.
Exactly, me neither. We didn't need his prediction that bad. I'm with you.
Justin Poirier looked really good tonight. Do you have any maybe idea of setting him up with the Korean Zombie or any of the guys that he was mentioning in the?
Yeah, obviously, those would be exciting fights, and we like to give guys fights that they want. So it could happen. Yeah. I'm not saying yes that that's the next fight, but yes, it could be.
Mr. White, I know you're going back to Brazil, going to Japan. Any chance or any word of what quarter, which month that the UFC will be coming to Hawaii?
No, we're still working on that, but we want to do it. I was kind of hoping, go to Hawaii again and do like a BJ fight. At the Aloha Bowl, but BJ wants to take some time off and he's going to relax for a while. But we're coming regardless. But that was the fight I really wanted to do there.
Did you watch the Stephen Thompson fight live? Did you feel it hasn't happened?
ChokeOut Cancer.